Welcome to Discover Northern Kentucky. In this two-part program, we will learn about the history, renaissance, and future of the Mainstrasse district in Covington.
I tell them if you're looking for a place to live, a place to come and enjoy yourself with friends, a place into a safe environment, you got every kind of food that you want down here. You got quality restaurants throughout the area. And if you just want to come in for an appetizer or a drink, we got dining, and you have third floor, set up our list of jazz bands. We've got Deep Felicia's bands every night, and big bands twice a month on behind the stage. So we've got everything you want from age limits 21 to 80. We offer that down here. And they can walk down our island, they can sit down, enjoy life, and just rest in the shade. Our four big festivals that we have a year, we have our Mardi Gras, which is it's always the same time. We coincide with the New Orleans Mardi Gras. It's the first Friday and Saturday after Fat Tuesday. And we attract, now we've limited to, I'd say 12,000 people for the two-day event, 6,000 each night. And we do that for a reason, because of the tent and the amount of business we handle in the bars and restaurants. And then we have everybody's invited to the parade. There's no cost to that. So that's our first kickoff of the year. In May, we have Mayfest, and that's we break out the wine. It's the first grapes of spring, we call it, and we have approximately, I would say, 150,000 people for that event. We have plenty of free parking at these events. Our IRS lets us use their lots free for our people to come in. But we have four stages, entertainment all weekend long, and it's a great event. Our Geta Fest is a smaller event. We feature the Taste of Geta. JV's Barbecue is a local producer of Geta out in Erlanger, and we have had them sponsor for the last 4 years, and we've been doing this event for 7 years now in Mainstrasse, and every year we get a little bit bigger. We have about 8 to 10 food vendors down here for that event, and everybody has to have a Geta item. That usually attracts over the 3 days about 25,000 people. Oktoberfest is the largest event we did. We just completed that this past week. It's a 3-day event, 6 blocks long, 2 ride areas, and 30 food booths and arts and crafts and 4 stages, and it usually attracts approximately 200,000 people to the area.
The world's largest yard sale. There's a lot of people come to that. That's crowded, so that's for a week or so, So, but yeah, that's another draw. I think that might be the reason for some other people visiting here, because they've been here for that, and then they want to get something to eat somewhere, and they stop in one of those places. I think they come back.
From a community standpoint too, I think that something that should be mentioned is that, everybody thinks of our area, or a lot of people who don't know it, as, strictly, festivals and bars and stuff like that. But we have a lot of community service, well, not community service, community activities down here. Like this month, we will have a Halloween party for all the children. We will have a dog parade, in which we have about 100 people put their dogs in costume and bring them down at Halloween, the day after the children. We have several Christmas functions, for the community and the children, so it's not just all festivals. It's we do a lot of community things down here.
It should be mentioned that last year the dog parade was better attended than the children's Halloween party, because it is just becoming a neighborhood of dogs. I guess you could say we're going to the dogs, but I think that's a good thing.
So I think we're bringing a lot of younger professionals into our area. Not just on 6th Street, but you go up to 7th, 8th, 9th, Willard, the side streets up here. A lot of young professionals are coming into this area because they can commute to businesses, whether it's in greater Cincinnati area or Cincinnati or Indiana. They can drive to that from Mainstrasse in hardly any time at all. So we're the central hub of greater Cincinnati right here. So I see that as a positive. I think of the fact that we have no safety problems down here. People like to come down here at night. They like to walk around, enjoy our restaurants and our pubs, and just relax down here. So a lot of business people come down here from 5 o'clock till 9 or 10 at night. Then at about 11 or 12, it transforms to a younger crowd. But with the bars and restaurants, they do a great job of making people feel like they're safe and wanted. So the city has been very great to this area. The fact that they put $250,000 of community development block grant funds that was secured for the Congress, the Congress past year. They remodeled and redid the bell tower here. Now we've got lights around it. When people drive down through the expressway and around here at night, they see a well-lit symbol, 100-foot tall, right there. And we're going to do more to make that. We're going to put the association down here has told the city they will take over ongoing maintenance. They're going to put lights, all new lighting around the walkway up to it, and also on top of the panels, the copper panels have been replaced on top there. If you walk up Main Street, you see a lot of unique shops. You've got the Christmas shop. You can go in. It's open all year round. It's got Christmas ornaments in there and unique statues, figurines. You won't find anywhere else. You won't find that in the mall or in a high-priced store. We've got Ottoman Imports. It's got great clothing they bring from all over around the world. They bring it here. You go up here to the little London Knoll gift shop up here. She has rooms and rooms of German heritage. She's got beer steins from everywhere in Germany. So what she has in that store is truly German heritage. I mean, if you would go through there, you would see everything that Germany has to offer. But we've got quality stores throughout the area that you can go to. One gentleman's developing 3 stores up there. He has a restaurant and a pub. He's expanding that to 3 buildings. That's going to be an icon for people that walk up there in that area and want to go to a very unique place. In the back of his building, he's made it like a New Orleans style where you have the stairwell going up and a patio out there. So there's a lot of hidden jewels in Mainstrasse. You can dine here. You've got tables and chairs. You can come out here, weather permitting, spring, summer, fall. You got outside dining all year long. People sit out here. You go out, walk out here at noontime and in the evening. All the tables and chairs are filled. People just want to sit outside and enjoy what we have to offer down here.
I came to Mainstrasse because the ambiance of the houses. I like the architecture. I didn't want to be confined by certain things in malls that they have various restrictions on hours and this kind of thing. So, and the people that come in here are very, we have a lot of tourists, and they're very excited about the neighborhood and the buildings, and well, how old is this building? And but that's one of the big changes. So when I started out, there weren't that many people who were so familiar with a nutcracker, or you know, a Russian Matryoshka doll or something like that, you know. But now, oh yeah, we were in Alaska and we saw that, and but we even sell German music. People come in and hear the umpa. I don't have anything going on right now, but they like that. It makes them feel like they're in Germany. Mainstrasse has changed in a lot of ways. We have great places for lunch, and people can walk around and spend a day, and not just you know, run in and out for a quick something or other. They usually come down to have a nice afternoon or whatever, and evening, and lots of good places to eat dinner, and it's clean. It's we're getting help from the city with that. And it's just a lot more pleasant place to be than it was 25 years ago. But a lot of the people that come in here are living out in the suburbs. So for them to come down here, it's like visiting Covington the way it used to be. You know, it's not going to the mall. it's not, it's getting out of their own little world and coming into maybe a little different world.
There's some new businesses on 6th Street, and again, everybody tries to promote the village. Oh, they enjoy it very much, and it's quiet. You can walk. There's no danger in crossing streets. We get a lot of, again, families or mothers with their children when dad is in a convention or at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center on business, and they looking for a place to walk around, shop, and have coffee or lunch. And everything here is within 4 blocks.
I think Mainstrasse is a focal point for Northern Kentucky now. It just draws a lot of people into the area. And tourists come to this area now. They never used to come here. There was nothing here, nothing in particular, no spot that they could come to and say this is a historical area. It has a lot of meaning, a lot of history. Some of the architecture, take a look at the buildings that are around here. It's a beautiful community. Mainstrasse today would be an area that I feel is a safe area to bring your family to and enjoy the different festivities that they hold in this area. There's always something for every age, whether it's a small child or an adult. They always have some event or something going on that would please everyone. The people that I talk to at the various events that we see here is that they came to an event a number of years ago, and it was so much fun they have to come back every year, whether it's the same event or something different. Anytime they hear about something going on in the Mainstrasse area, they feel it's going to be an exciting day, so they try to make it a point to come back into town.
The residents, I think, get along real well together. The older folks that have been here for a long time are happy to see things move in the positive direction, and people that move in seem to enjoy the vibrance that is being created by the restaurants and the other businesses in the area. I would say it's a unique village setting that is tree-lined, comfortable, safe, and you can find a place to sit and enjoy yourself, either for something to eat or just a cup of coffee and a dessert or something to drink, and either join your friends to have a little celebration or just come and mosey around and then just enjoy the ambiance. And it's not real busy. It's not a real busy area. It's not real packed into one little fast-moving thing. It's more of a laid-back thing. I think that's what most people like about it. I just think that the city is coming to realize that Mainstrasse really is one of the main places that I think Covington can hang their hat on. I think it's a great showplace. It's a unique thing that we have. We also have some great developments along the river, some of our buildings, and there's other developers that are doing a great job, but this is something unique that Covington has that nobody else has, and it's here in Mainstrasse.
One of the nice things about being in Mainstrasse is you can walk right outside and you have all these lovely restaurants that you can go to, and after hours there's clubs. The shopping is also great. We have so many unique stores and shops in the area. And one of the things that I personally like is the majority of the businesses that are located in the village are individually owned, or they're owned by families. And so I feel like that I'm truly helping out another family when I go and visit a shop or a restaurant. When I told some friends of mine that we were moving our office to Covington, the response overwhelmingly was, wow, that would be a great place to work. And most people are familiar with the area because of the local festivals that go on and the shops and the dining. And so they thought it would be a great opportunity and a great place to work. Well, I love working in Covington, and I love being a part of the Mainstrasse community. I think I bring a unique perspective. I grew up in Cincinnati, on the east side of Cincinnati, and I have worked in Cincinnati. I now live in Crescent Springs, and I work in Covington, Kentucky. And I feel like my perspective is unique in that sense, and it is truly a community because all of the individuals, the residents, and the business owners, we all know one another, and we try to make sure that this is a great environment for not only those of us who live and work down here, but also those who come down here for a visit to enjoy. Working in the city of Covington and working in the Mainstrasse Village area has been absolutely fabulous. We have been welcomed by the community with open arms. The businesses and the residents in the community have all been just friendly and have been willing to help out whenever we have needed help with anything.
Mainstrasse is simply a wonderful area. It's a historic preservation area. It is old German homes which were built approximately from 1850 through the 1880s, and it's a community in which approximately 2,000 people live, and it's people who love living here for the most part. Now, if you don't love living here, I don't know why you don't sell and move someplace else, but it's just a wonderful historic community, well maintained, and a great place in which to live.
I think that another thing too that is maybe possibly one of the properties of one of the real problems of these high property values is these people get down here and they spend very, very large prices for these places, and then all of a sudden they want to be living in Wallace Woods. I mean, it doesn't work that way. I mean, you know, when they buy in the area, the fact that it is an entertainment district and has been rehabbed to a great extent is why these properties are so valued or worth so much money. And when they come down here, they think, well, gee, I got, you know, $250,000 tied up in this. I don't want noise, and I don't want this, and I don't want something else, which is, you know, it's kind of an enigma because that's the reason these places are worth the money. It is an entertainment district.
That's where the residents and the shop owners and the businesses have to stay together on this, you know. And I understand their investment problems with bars that might be open late at night and kids coming out and just screaming and having a good old time, but that's all part of that. I think the owners of the businesses are trying to do the same thing, keep their place nice, you know, so that they attract a good clientele. So I don't think the residents should have to worry too much about their property values going down or anything. I think it's just going to keep going up.
It's been a wonderful place for us to live. When you ask about going somewhere else and making comments, we live in the Mainstrasse. One of the real interesting thing is we travel all over the world. We've been in 50 foreign countries since we retired, and you'll be running into some other Americans and you'll tell them this and they've heard of it or they know about it. You know, I mean, if they know anything about northern Kentucky or the Cincinnati area, chances are they know about Mainstrasse.
It's people from Milford saying, oh yes, I go there to the restaurants, I go to your festivals, oh yes, there's a wonderful shop down there where I buy, and then you fill in the blank. But yes, now when we say we're from Mainstrasse, people say, oh yes, I love that area. 30 years ago, well, there was no Mainstrasse 30 years ago because it was not established till 1979. But if we had said 30 years ago we lived in northern Kentucky, people would have said, oh. So they would not have known what to say. So we are both members of the association and have been for about 10 years. We're active volunteers in it, and we think they do a lot of good in the community. I know I would like to see a lot more volunteers working in it because it takes a lot of energy to put on these festivals. I don't think that many people know that most of the proceeds from the festivals are spent in promoting the area as a place in which to come and shop, a place in which to live, and we think we do good for the community.
The Mainstrasse Village Association does work really hard on trying to keep people coming to the area with new ideas. One of the really nice things that they've done is they have a little blues festival that they do. I think they've done 2, maybe. That's a great little festival for us. The farmers market is great. That's on Tuesdays and Saturdays. That's a great little thing. They do a little flea market on the second Sunday, the Antique Fest. That's really good. When I first started seeing it, I thought, what is it, a bunch of junk, you know? But no, a lot of the vendors have a lot of nice things, and it does bring a lot of people to the area. You know, it's hard to please everybody, but they're doing the best that they can, you know, and they're keeping the neighborhood clean. They're open to suggestions. The Mainstrasse Villages, I think they're doing a great job.
One of the amazing things about living down in Mainstrasse is we have friends of all ages. One of our friends, for example, is still in college working on her master's, and she's a recent graduate from college. It's not someone 52 years old now working on their master's. But we have friends of all ages and all walks of life and all different lifestyles. If we were still living in our very nice suburb, which is what we left for Mainstrasse, all of our friends would be like us. They would be approximately the same age we are, with their children out of college, and we'd be sitting around talking about our grandchildren is what we'd be talking about, or how we're going to go to Mexico. Down here we talk about all sorts of various things, what's happening in the world and what are you doing, and the joggers go past and they stop and say hello. It's a very friendly area, very eclectic, not the cookie cutter of the suburbs. And I hope that everyone seeing this loves the area in which they live as much as we love Mainstrasse, because it's really great to be happy where you are.
And I think the area will continue to improve. It's going to still go through its bumps, but there's enough spirit involved, even on both sides of the problems that we seem to face down here, that's what really develops an area, is people getting involved and wanting to do things about it. I mean, you know, again, that gets back to investing one's own time and money and heartbreak that builds a strength in a community like this. And I think that's one of the things that we have a lot of concern down here.
As I said, this is very much a live and let live area, and everybody is welcome down here. We live in an integrated neighborhood, and you can just integrate that neighborhood any way you want to. It's integrated, and it's working.
Oh, there's a big difference. We were one of the first Mainstrasse Village venues here. I think Strasse House was open down the street. Chez Nora's was like the 5:30 bar. It was a seedy little bar with a bartender by the name of Chico, you know. There wasn't much here yet. And there was still a opinion about Covington that it was a little rough, which it really wasn't the case. We didn't have any problems and haven't had any problems. Now our only problem is it's getting busy over here, and that's a good problem to have. But yeah, the Mainstrasse Village is a great little place, and you can see with all the bars and restaurants and shops, it's really become a nice little neighborhood with a neighborhood feel instead of that. Not that I don't like Rookwood Pavilion or Crestview Hills or something like that. This has got that homey kind of feeling for me. You know, more hometown people doing their own thing instead of corporate restaurants. You know, it's just got a nice little flavor to it. The Mainstrasse Village is trying to do a lot of different things with the farmers market, and they do like every first Friday of the month they do a gallery hop with all the people now that have art galleries around here. so that people can go and visit all the different art galleries, and it does a lot of business for the other shop owners and bars. It's quiet early with all the diners, and that's all, good and contained, and on Fridays and Saturdays, and then about 11 o'clock, 11:30, the younger kids come out and the bars are hopping, and it's fun. It's fun. It's quite an eclectic little group of places. Well, we got a lot more traffic now. It was quiet. I mean, I remember when we first opened, on a Friday night, we might do 50 dinners, where now, it's anywhere from 150 to 250 dinners. And I'm sure the other restaurants and bars around here are feeling the same. There are people that come from all over, especially from Cincinnati, that say, it feels like I'm on vacation, because it's a different, cute little village, and there's a lot to offer here. There's everything from pool tables in one little bar and, the casual atmosphere, to pub crawling, or upscale dining, rooftop, outside dining. It's just got a nice feel, and I think people really enjoy coming over here. It's not like a mall. It's much better than a mall.
It's a safe area, too.
It is a safe area. There's so much going around here on the weekends. There's no way that somebody could do something wrong without being caught. There's so many people out, But it is safe. I've been here for a long time. I close up late at night. I walk out of here. Everything's fine. I mean, I always walk out with somebody, but I'm not afraid to be here. Never have been. That's the fight that Cincinnati has, is their crime issues. Our police department is great. If I ever call the police department, they are here right away. They help me out immensely with any problem I have. They're here. And I don't know what goes on in Cincinnati except for what you read in the paper or, here on TV. But I think that's a problem for people, They don't want to be afraid. And you don't have to be afraid over here, ever. I mean, I feel very safe over here, and I know a lot of the other shop owners and business owners feel the same, and I think the people that live here feel the same, or else they wouldn't be right here. I lived here for a while. I lived right down the street on Philadelphia, and I lived above the restaurant for 5 years. I think this village and this area has a lot to offer. I think it can only get better as long as things are done correctly. And I think it's going in that direction. I really do. And there's some really different shops, especially for Christmas shopping. This is a great place to come because you can have lunch, walk around and shop, still be here and have dinner, have a couple drinks. You can get on the bus. You can go over to the other bars over on Madison now that are opening up. I mean, the whole Covington area as a whole, I think, is really becoming much better. It's not just one little neighborhood that's nice and then you drive past, go someplace else in Covington and it doesn't look so nice. It's all becoming, I think, a really, really nice little city. It's in a cute little village, Mainstrasse Village, and it's got something for everybody. We've had rehearsal dinners in our back dining room, and rehearsal dinners, are every age bracket from little kids to really old kids. And there's something for all of them around here. I've had some of the younger kids leave the rehearsal dinner and go to the bars down the streets, or some of the older ones go over to Chez Noir's and go up on the rooftop, and some of the older ones come out to our bar after the dinner and sit and watch the band. So, and I'm not an expert on this area because my area is right there, my life is there. So, but I have so many people just say great things about the area, the shops. The only bad thing that I ever hear is the shops aren't open long enough. Quit going to the same old places and try the Mainstrasse Village. We got a lot to offer, I'm afraid of Westchester. Westchester is really up and coming, and there's a lot of people out there. And those people would come out this way because, there wasn't very much out there, And you can come here and there's a lot to do. And they're doing that out there, I'm afraid we're going to lose our Tri-County and our Westchester customers. We do have a lot of people from Cincinnati. You know, I think most of our customers. I know. You would think you would have more Kentucky residents here, but we do have a lot of people from Cincinnati come over here. It's a lot to upkeep a building that was built in the 1800s, you know. And the awning, that's something that we had just put on there a couple years ago. We're really happy about that. We want to put an awning on the front too, because it preserves those the windows. And what I really like about it at night, when people come over here at night, they've got all these lights on the building. It looks so cute at night. You know, it's all lit up. It really is a cute little area. It's just a great little village. It really is. It's a great location, you know. It's right over the bridge. Got a great parking lot. Nobody knows about that parking lot back there. The Mainstrasse parking lot that holds about 300 cars. Nobody knows about it. Where should I park? And you know, that's a big thing for people. The first thing they want to know is, where am I going to put my car? Cabs are right here all weekend long. If you're going to go out and really tie one on, you don't have to drive. You can get in a cab. There's plenty of cabs. It's just a great little place to come and have a little celebration. Christmas shopping, I would be over here for Christmas shopping to find really neat little gifts over here. Lunch, dinner at De Felice, lunch someplace else.
Well, I can tell you it's come a long, long way. I was elected to the commission in 1979. That's when they first started these festivals, and the bell tower came. You know, Julian Carroll got money in the budget to do the bell tower. And then off and on, you know, the festivals did great, and shops opened up, shops closed. But I always thought the reason for that was a lot of part-time people. That was a hobby with them. And, you know, under Commissioner Bamberger's leadership the last several years, it's really taken off, I think. He has, I think, exhibited professionalism over there and got him on track. When you're dealing with all these shops and bars and restaurants, it's a really hard job. And I think he worked very well getting people together. And as a commissioner, you know, he knows the other side of the coin. So I think it's one of the hot spots in the area now, particularly the bars and restaurants. I have so many people tell me from Cincinnati, they come over here all the time. You know, they'd rather come to Covington, and they go to Newport and the Levee also, but they like Covington because you got a real mixture of bars and restaurants, anything you want. And, you know, usually in the evenings, I'm amazed sometimes during the week how crowded it is over there. But it's had a great impact on us. It's given another place for people to look to come. And tourists come through here. Now that we have the bell tower fixed, the Glockenspiel, a lot of tour buses would come by to see that. So it's been, you know, out of repair in the last 2 years, but now it's back up and running. So you'll see tour buses come in just to see that. So what's happened, it's a big draw for Covington now, just what we want. And we're hoping to come interact with our arts district downtown and with Mainstrasse. So people can go to downtown Covington, go over to Mainstrasse, and there's plenty of things to do all in that huge area, you know. So if it's too crowded at Shea Norris, you can go over and go somewhere else like the Avenue or someplace, you know, someplace like that. Where do you go? You go either to Mainstrasse or downtown, because downtown's starting to take off too. So we've got a couple areas for you to go. But Mainstrasse is the big place right now. Just for your information, we had the Kentucky League of Cities up here a week ago, and we had the largest crowd ever. 1,500 delegates came from all over the state, and we did a reception in Mainstrasse, put a tent up. We had between, I think, 500 and 700 people came. They loved it. I was told it was the best reception they've ever gone to as far as a KLC convention. They loved it over in Mainstrasse because they could go from one place to another, and it was just a happening place. As Jay Fawcett always says, it's happening, and it truly is happening in Mainstrasse. Oh yes, what I do, and they can tell you at the Visitors Bureau, they have me welcome a lot of conventions to the city all the time. I do tremendous amount of that for them, and I always give them a little welcome speech, but I tell them, you're close by to Mainstrasse Village. That's a place to go. It's everything you want's over there. There's shops, restaurants, bars, good food, good drinking, a lot of camaraderie among everybody. There's places to go there, and I direct them over to some of the places in the downtown Covington, you know, because there are some good places, you know. So I tell them what those are, restaurants to go to. So I think it's something that people want to go, and I get compliments from people later. They'll send me little notes, hey, that was a good tip. I We had the SS Tennessee and the SS Bremerton here for military conventions they have, and they were kidding me. They went. I told them to go to Mainstrasse, and they went there. I was at eating up the Radisson revolving restaurant, you know. And these guys come. Don't you remember us, Mary? You made us go to Mainstrasse. But they said we had a great time. We really enjoyed it here. They went all over Mainstrasse and stopped in the restaurants and bars. Had a tremendous time. Said they'd probably come back again in a few years. So, well, I think it was a combination. The events, you know, showed people what could happen here, and then I think, you know, like Chez Noir's developed a great reputation here. And there's other restaurants over there. Otto's, if you ever eaten Otto's, that's a great place to go. Doing a commercial for Otto's, I like that place. You know, De Felice's, remember, that's drawing people all the time because they remember him. You know, and they go over. And Shelley Felice runs that, so more and more people are coming back to that. So when they come over and see all this, and then they see there's other places, they just want to go and stay for a while. And a lot of meetings are held. You know, people come over and you know, they'll want to hold a meeting, say in some of their rooms. Like I know in Chez Noir's, like you just said, there's some events they have, and they've had people running for office, high office like governor and et cetera, come there, and senator and representative, state or Congress will have little events there, and so it brings more and more people into the area, and so now people know, and it's safe over there, and there's a lot of parking, so I think that's the big thing. And some people I found out when they're maybe going to Florida, and they stop off in Covington for a couple days, and they enjoy going to Mainstrasse because they've been here before for different events, and they say, "Wow, I think we'll just stop there for a day or two and eat at the restaurants, you know, go around." It's so amazing at the October and Mayfest. You draw people from all over Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. I mean, they're coming here, and people that maybe grew up in Covington, well, they come back for those events. You always see somebody you haven't seen in years when you go there. So I think it's a combination of both. The tourism helps greatly, but I think the locals do because they say, hey, this is a good place to go down to. And I know my kids always are over there, so I guess it's a good place. They only go to the hot spots, so so I know it must be a good place to go, but I think it's a combination. I think it's the ambiance now, yeah. The history at one point I thought was important, but I think it's more the ambiance of the area now. I think there's a rich history in Covington. I can tell you, we're second to Louisville in historic districts, but there's so much history there. Not all of it's probably written down, but it's amazing. I mean, I'm always amazed because I always like to read about things, and I find out from some of the older people what went on, and so it's a tremendous resource, I think. And I was over in Lytle Park one day. I was working in downtown Cincinnati, and I was just going walking through the park, and some lady pulled up without a state license. She said, "Can you tell me how to get to historic Mainstrasse?" So I directed her how to get over there. So, you know, people know about it. And like their top 10 festivals in the United States are Oktoberfest and Mayfest. So people read that kind of stuff, and if they're in the area, they think, well, heck, maybe I'll go over to Covington and see what's going on over there while I'm going somewhere else. But I'll stop in there just to take a look around because it looks very interesting and inviting. You know, I think everything complements each other, you know. And also, I think Newport and Covington complement each other, too. As if they're, Newport and Levy's packed, people are going to come over here, vice versa. They're going to look. That's why it's so neat in Northern Kentucky. You got so many things you can do, and that's why we're kicking Cincinnati's butt at this time, okay? Because really, and there's cooperation among the governments. I mean, really, all the cities work together. The counties are doing that now, too. So we're all working together for the common good of the entire region. So we be developed as a region. So that's all going on right as we talk. Isn't that great? Yeah, we got, you know, the Ascent. Now, right there is a drawing card, just the design of the building. And that's going to bring people here. And they're going to say, what else is in Covington? You know, and they're going to look around. So I think that's going to be a major attraction. It's going to bring in people with disposable incomes. And it's a great design, but it's going to also bring in other people who are going to say, hey, this is, I've never seen like this. So they're going to look around and see what else is around this area. I go back just recently, the Kentucky League of Cities, and when people told me this is the best convention they've ever been to, they love Mainstrasse, they like the historic buildings all throughout the city. They couldn't believe we had so many. They visited the murals on the flood wall. They raved about that. And they also, the Cathedral Basilica of the Assumption, they went up there, and just an unbelievable, beautiful church. But there were just so many people from different parts of the state just raving about it and said, you certainly, Mayor, you should be proud of your city. This is a good city. So I really remember that. I won't forget those comments, but that was kind of a neat thing.
I think it has really been a major boost to the area. I'm really proud and happy that something like this has been done, because it's really an exemplary model, not only for the region, but for the nation. You can go to other areas. I mean, for example, I think people from Milwaukee could come here, from St. Louis, and they could learn from this area. I know when you have a lot of city planners in the region, they bring in urban planners from North Carolina and Virginia, and, you know, from who knows where. And I always say, why don't they just go to Covington and get some advice from those folks and see what they've done? They've been very successful here. So I think there's a lot of local wisdom and smarts here about how to maintain and preserve a city.
I think there's a lot of things to be learned here. I mean, how do you encourage? I think the area itself had enough to offer, just in its, like I say, this the width, the wide streets, the architecture, and that. I think that played a big part into it. I think that's what got a lot of people to commit. They saw that it had a future. So I don't know if you could just take any old little town and put Mainstrasse's thing and make it work there. I think it has to have something going for it to start, like the architecture, the wide streets, the avenues, the medians and things, you know, the trees, and parks, and things like that. So, and then the history too. I mean, this area has a big history.
This area in general has made a lot of positive progress towards rehabbing historical areas and revitalizing the city. I think that there are lessons that can be learned from Covington and the revitalization of the city, especially from cities such as Cincinnati, just across the river, and that this city has welcomed businesses and individuals from all walks of life with open arms. And there has been this effort to revitalize not only buildings but the community at large. And I think that that is an idea that needs to be embraced and should be embraced by other communities.
This area of the city is primed for more development. There's people call every day, is there any business opportunities down there in Mainstrasse? Any vacant buildings? We don't have vacant buildings down here because the demand is so, it's there. But this building behind us, the city is looking at proposals to do something with the parking lot in this building to make this block very unique. Whether that's office tires or hotels or whatever, condos, we don't know, but there's a request for proposal to get this project underway. Behind us, there's a request for proposal to do some type of development on the restaurant lots behind us. So this whole area is going to transform over the next 3 to 4 years. This used to be the Convention and Visitors Bureau over here. Now it's going to be turned into a brew pub. That's the plans for it. So, we have the property throughout Mainstrasse, the property values over the past 10 years have tripled, I'd say, because of the success of the businesses and the safety of our community. We're making progress in doing entertainment through venues throughout other areas of Covington, not just Mainstrasse. It's going to bring more people to Mainstrasse and our city at large.
The future. I think it can only get better as long as we have private individuals who are willing to take the time and spend the money. We're so close to the city of Cincinnati, and the location is just absolutely fantastic. You're right off the expressway, I-75, going north-south. It's a wonderful location. Covington is considered by a lot of people as the south side of Cincinnati. So we have a river that separates us from Cincinnati, and yet Covington is a whole different world from Cincinnati. So we have a much smaller community and more historic buildings, not in the large scale, but beautiful churches, beautiful It's been kept, it's been saved, and we have to keep working on that, because that is, once that's gone, then we can be just like anybody else. I believe that the people in Covington look at Mainstrasse in a way with a little bit of envy and think, well, why couldn't we have this throughout the city in the same matter of cleanliness and restoring the buildings and so on. But nothing happens overnight, so Mainstrasse, I think, could be the example of what could happen throughout the whole city.
We are very upbeat when we talk about Mainstrasse, and Mainstrasse is different, but it could be more different and more of an attraction.
I think it's going to continue to grow. You're always going to have a business that may go out, but there's always someone to fill in behind it. And usually, as you get new blood, they have better ideas, and it just keeps building. And I think they have a great opportunity to keep building on the strength that they have right now. I think it's going to continue on, only get better. Only that because I grew up in this area, or started my life in this area, I'd like it to see it try to remain as much as it was back then, a neighborhood. And that's what you have. You have residents living here, plus the businesses mixed in. And that's what it was when I was a kid. There are a lot of taverns or bars now, but I think there were even more when I was a kid. And that's part of the German heritage, drinking your beer.
That it continues to get better. More people move in. I think the more residents you have, the people that care about the place, I think they're the ones that'll be the watch guard that things do keep on a positive track as far as safety and the keeping the area clean and having the city take care of the problems that arise when you get more people. That there's always things that are going to happen when you get more people in an area, and especially when you have an evening crowd like they do here in Mainstrasse. There's a lot of the bars that draw a lot of people, and always that's a little conflict sometimes with the people that live around here, but I think it can all work out. I just think it's just going to get better, and I think it'll continue to be a great place to come and either have a business or to visit or to live in.
I hope for the future in the Mainstrasse area that the growth continues, and I hope the revitalization and the restoration of these wonderful buildings continues, and I hope that the sense of community amongst everyone who lives and works down here continues as well.
In the future, I'd like to see what is happening now continue, that there are areas where you are still able to buy a home in the Mainstrasse area that require tender, loving care and can be had at a reasonable price. When we were discussing the homes that have such high prices, we were not talking about the homes in the immediate area of 6th and Main, which is where we are now, nor were we talking about the homes in our neighborhood. But if you go to certain other areas west of where we are now and south of where we are now, there are still bargain homes to be had there. Still the excellent, good German bricklayers of 125 years ago. They built those houses to last. They knew that they were going to live in them forever, and their sons and daughters. But I would like to see it continue and grow. It's just a great place in which to live.
Pretty much the same thing. I think we need to get more retailers down here that appeal to the general public. I mean, we have a lot of open spaces down here, and I think the shops, just because of the national economy, are having some economic problems. But we need more retailers.
I think it's going to continue to grow and be a viable area. I mean, they're always reinventing themselves. And, I'm sure there's going to be some development over there that'll help that. That area off of 5th Street where our parking lots are and all that. I think someday that'll be developed into something over there which will provide employees and maybe housing. I don't know what will happen there, but things like that. And I think that'll bring even more people into the area. If there's office buildings there, they're going to have somewhere to eat and drink and do all the other things, shop. So I think it's going to continue on for many, many years.